Hi, welcome to Two Tired Teachers.
The purpose of this video is hopefully to start a discussion about dispersed camping in Colorado. And we just want to share our experience. We had 3 valiant attempts at trying to find dispersed camping in 3 different locations, and we struck out.
Yes.
And so first was at, and so if you found some, we want to know, and we want to know where and what you were towing to get there. But our first was down at the Great Sand Dunes National Monument, and we had seen that there was some dispersed camping there, so we went, and the road we were supposed to turn on, there were, 3 signs that said the road was closed, and
there was a whole list of things you could do. You could fish and hike and stuff and stuff.
4-wheelers and stuff.
Nowhere did it say camp.
But that road, and I'm sorry we didn't get a picture of it, we weren't staying there, we were towing at the time, but you could see it's just flat for, I'm guessing, at least a mile.
Yeah.
And then the road went up a foothill, and you couldn't see any more, but there was nobody, and there was no signs of anywhere to pull off to have a campsite in that first mile. And when we were towing and couldn't see anywhere to turn around in the first mile and weren't sure how far we were going to have to go or what happened after that, we started up the hill and the sign saying the road was closed. We opted not to do that. We had not seen many other places in that area that showed any dispersed camping.
So we drove on to Colorado Springs and spent the night in a
Bass Pro Shop parking lot. And once again, so we're still towing, but we had seen some places around Colorado Springs that said there was dispersed camping. It's actually, you go up from Manitou Springs, and people were talking about how wonderful these places were. We did, the Forest Service roads, or actually the roads were just, they were good dirt, gravel roads. And so we went down several miles. We passed an intersection with another dirt road, and we kept going, and the way the GPS was telling us, and when we got to these signs that are telling us plainly, this is private property, I'll be honest, I saw where there was kind of a T, the road dead ended, and I went down there to turn around. But it was stated plainly, this is private property. We don't know how far we might, and the road was getting smaller, narrower. Yes. And so we turned around, came back, and we saw an RV when we got to the intersection of these dirt roads. And I got out and asked the guy, were you able to camp? And he said, yeah, you go on up here about 5 miles, and then there's going to be a Y, and do not take, I don't remember now which one it was, because that's going to go to the top of the hill, and you're not going to want to go there. And we started down that road, and we got a ways, but we just weren't comfortable with going that direction.
Not knowing how far we would have to go.
And then trying to remember for sure which direction. The other direction on that dirt road, they were doing a lot of road work.
Yes.
They had it it's a dirt road. But it said there was a campground 8 miles down that dirt road. We weren't sure. We knew we were driving 8 miles on a dirt road to get there, so we weren't sure what the campground was going to be. We're towing. We're not a high clearance.
No.
And that was the most promising of the dispersed that we saw. We tried to go to a couple of others in that general area. We went to one that said it was great. We went through, what was that National Historic Site or Fossil something?
Yeah.
Fossil something. We went through there, and then on Highway 11, we went out a long way and made our hard turn and got on that road. I walked down to where I could see, and once again, this is not really a road. It's more of a farm. It had, you could see the grass in the middle and the ruts.
Yes.
Nowhere, if we passed anybody, there was nowhere to turn around. And once again, This was where it was pretty. There was kind of a meadow across, and then it started up, and we couldn't tell what was going to be up there, but we knew.
We didn't want to do that.
And we weren't sure, honestly, on that road if we were going to drag just driving on the part of the road we could see.
So we ended up spending another night at Bass Road.
Yeah, we
took all day.
We took all day trying several different dispersed camping options near Colorado Springs, and we struck out.
So our next stop was going to be Longmont anyway. So we went to Longmont.
We're going to have a video about the Boulder County Fairgrounds, which has camping with hookups in Longmont, which is just north of Denver.
Yes.
And we were staying there for 2 nights, then we're actually going back there later.
Yes.
But we stayed there 2 nights, which gave us a day to come in and look.
And the pets were thrilled that we did not drag them out looking at.
These are consecutive, these are back-to-back days that we're doing this.
So we were in
And we were just basically
Longmont.
looking from Denver, west and north.
I had found a place that I thought would be good. We couldn't really find it.
We got to, we once again, we would drive down dirt roads for a mile or so, and we're going past people's homes and things everywhere marked private property, and we'll go down a mile or so, and if we're not seeing something that looks like we're getting close to Dispersed, we would turn around and go back to the paved road. We found a couple of National Forest campgrounds where it had a marker, okay, if you go a mile or 2, and we went back to a couple of those to see, first of all, would we be able to tow on this dirt road, and second of all, would there be a spot in that campground large enough for our RV? One of them we got to, it was a little dicey with just the van driving around the camping places. Some people had done it. Some people had gotten some RVs up in there, and props to them. I was impressed with what they had done. We found one site that we thought, okay, we're marking this one. It wasn't far off of the road, but we were going to be parked on dirt/mud.
Yes.
Where we're camping now, which is Kelly Dahl, we've made a video about this campground. We love it. We've gotten rain every day.
Yes.
And so
in
parking
the afternoons and
it's not all day. Obviously, it's not all day every day. But parking on that dirt/mud was not going to be something that we were comfortable with. No. But if that had been all we could find. But we went to a number of places out just trying. You know, anytime we'd get service, we'd look again. Is there anything near us?
And we saw a little placard that said there was a national recreation area, so we took off up. It said you had to have reservations
to go in.
But we decided we'd talk to the people anyway.
Biloxi?
Starts
with a P.
But it's not Biloxi, that's in Cleveland. So there's
more than one Biloxi, I'm sure.
We started up the road, and we got there, and we talked to the people, and they were very nice and very helpful. They let us look around that campsite, but you had
to have
reservations, and we didn't, and we couldn't get them for that night.
Which we didn't need. We were staying in Longmont for that night.
But they did tell us about Kelly Dahl.
And so when we got back where we had some cell service, we looked up and found up sites 1 through 20 were a first come, first serve here. But our point being, this is 3 different areas where we spent at least half a day, if not more, looking for dispersed camping with something you could do without 4-wheel drive, with just a normal vehicle. And some of the ones we turned away from, people had said they were able to do. We don't know how far down they were on those dirt roads. Nobody had said. And so here's the conversation is, if you have found dispersed camping in Colorado,
and you have a vehicle that's not high clearance,
that's just 2-wheel drive, we would love to hear from you. And so that's one of the things on this video we're asking is read the comments. We're telling you our experience.
Yes.
But if we're ever back in this area, we'd love to have an opportunity to check out some of those places.
Yeah. We're not opposed to paying for a campsite, but if you can get one free, why pay for one?
Exactly. And so it's been our experience, and we just feel there has to be some dispersed somewhere around that we're missing. And so that's, like I said, this video is all about starting a conversation, letting you know what our experiences were, and finding out, is there somewhere great that we're just not finding? So, read those comments, leave us comments letting us know, and as always, thanks for watching Two Tired Teachers.